Hello and welcome. Let's begin with a bow. Today I'm going to be talking about presence in the therapeutic relationship. And to me, this is one of the most core parts of therapy. I think it's one of the most healing parts. And it's really essential to our learning here about how to be with others. It's a really important concept when we think of the humanistic and existential traditions of therapy, where it's really about the quality of the relationship being a key factor for our healing and growth. It's also incredibly important in our contemplative traditions. And so we're going to talk a little bit about presence in psychotherapy and how we cultivate it as therapists. So first, really wanting to define presence. It's really this authentic, attuned, and engaged way of showing up, of witnessing. It's work that we're doing in the here and now. And it refers to an attunement, not just to our clients, but to our own self and to the relationship between us. It's not just physical presence, but emotional presence and presence of thoughts and our own thoughts and the thoughts of our clients. And it's really related to a relational availability to the client in the moment, in the present moment. And it's a place we can keep coming back to. When we think of contemplative work, we can come back again and again, even if our mind wanders or we get triggered or we notice complex emotional states within us. This is the ground, the place we can return to again and again. So Carl Rogers, a pioneer of humanistic psychology, says, when I am closest to my inner intuitive self, when I am somehow in touch with the unknown in me, when I'm somehow in touch with the unknown in me, then whatever I do seems to be full of healing. It's really this unknown quality. This is really the belief that our genuine presence, when attuned to ourselves and our clients, it can really support with profound healing. For Rogers, this is a key element of our therapeutic alliance. And it's part of what really creates safety, a non-judgmental environment, unconditional positive regard that really allows the client to do the exploration of their own inner world. It's a bit of a holding container for the client to begin exploring. So from the humanistic perspective, presence is transformative. When we're present, our clients can be more fully seen and understood, which really can help with getting to the nuance of the emotion internally and pattern ways of being. Really starting to see the patterns as they show up. It can also allow for emotional processing, noticing emotion, going towards emotion, not shying away when we feel things heightened. It's really the simple act of being with. Just being there. Which means we can explore discomfort and suffering relationally, in relationship. So the client can begin to more fully understand themselves and the context of their lives. It's also really talked about a lot in the existential tradition. In the existential tradition, we really talk about coming back to the present moment, right here. The life and the quality of what's happening now between us. Presence often involves, in the existential tradition, confronting the givens of existence. And the givens are often defined as freedom, isolation, meaninglessness, death. While also cultivating presence. And so recognizing and acknowledging these components are there. And we all confront them at different points. Yalom speaks about being fully present in the here and now. He says, I must be fully present. I must shed all roles and be nothing other than my authentic self, responding as openly as possible to whatever happens. And presence has this real quality of openness. Openness and opportunity for whatever to arise, whatever is possible. It's this kind of infinite space. For Yalom, authenticity, vulnerability is really essential to the therapeutic relationship. And really conveying it really supports the clients in living more authentically with more presence in their own lives. There's this way in which the work that's happening therapeutically between us gets translated. People can live in a different way and also be more present with their self in the moment. And truly what I truly feel, and to be more authentically human. More authentically me. And we do that through modeling therapeutically. It also has to do with really being open to uncertainty and the unknown and how things are constantly changing. Really embracing our lived experience and the fact that we can't pin it down. I think we understand it changes, being open to that. Really is recognizing that each and every moment in therapy is an opportunity for both reflection and connection. Vast opportunity for vulnerability. So how do we cultivate presence as therapists? We really need to commit to our own self-awareness, our mindfulness practices. Rogers really emphasizes the therapist must first be in touch with their own internal world in order to offer authentic presence to our clients. And this is where our mindfulness practice really comes into play, allowing us to learn about ourselves with loving kindness and compassion for all that it means to be human, our darkness, our light, our places of contraction, the ways in which we can create our own suffering, learning to witness be, and starting to see our own brilliant sanity or basic goodness. And as we really engage in this work, it's a practice. We don't have to be complete, perfect people in order to be therapists. It's a practice, and keep coming back with these methods of inquiry to really understand and know ourselves and how we impact others, how they impact us. And if we start there, we begin to cultivate this quality of mindful listening. We tune inward, we offer that to ourselves, we extend it to our clients. Really be able to hear and attune. And as judgments arise, we allow them to pass. Our biases arise. We notice, we allow our judgments and interpretations, our planning of what to say next, we allow it to arise and pass. And we keep coming back right here, right now. And we slow down. We give space. And we pause. We pause our clients. So there's room to study and to be. We work on not getting too busy and too smart. And we just keep coming back to the client as expert and to this basic, kind witnessing. We start to cultivate a capacity to be with, to really be with right here in relationship with ourselves, with our clients, just being, and not getting too lost in doing or doing too, or fixing, resolving. We really resist this urge to do something, to give it a 5 steps to happiness. Rather than wanting to do and to alleviate, really alleviate for our clients, but alleviate for ourselves. And instead we become fully present with them in their pain. We allow them to process and come into contact with this natural organicity wherein the client is naturally efforting to heal or working to heal. And this pain is a catalyst for that. And so being able to study non-judgmentally the places in which we ache and our hearts break, in order for there to be this, you start to sense this natural capacity to heal and change. But we can't get there unless we can be with the depth of that, of someone's experience. And we also have this stance of compassion, self-compassion, and vulnerability. We open up to our own limitations, and we're compassionate with ourselves. We open up to the uncertainty and unpredictability of life and the therapeutic process. It's quite a vulnerable place to rest. And it's a very vulnerable place for our clients to rest into. And so being able to be comfortable in our own vulnerability and to be kind. And we cultivate these qualities of compassion, compassionate abiding. Eugene Gendlin, the founder of Focusing, which is another humanistic existential approach, he says, the therapist's presence invites the client to drop into their felt sense, into an experiential moment where true transformation begins. It's an experiential moment right here in the here and now. We're a bit like scientists or experimenters. We're walking together and discovering the unknown. And that pausing and resting allows And accepting of what's there, there's an irony in it. It allows for this change, a paradox of when we accept what's here, there's room for transformation. But if we're resisting, we're ignoring, we're denying, or we're clinging to certain experiences, they often persist. When we're very present with our clients, we invite them to connect with their deep felt sense, their bodily knowing that comes before intellectual understanding. This wisdom, this internal, basic, natural intelligence, healing intelligence. This often leads to breakthroughs that aren't possible just through cognitive or narrative processing alone, or cognitive reasoning. It's not a static state, it's really dynamic and it's co-created. And Martin Buber discusses this concept of I-thou. It's very relevant here. This is very different than I-it, or where we're treating our clients as objects to be healed or changed. And we start to really become aware of the I-thou, which is where we meet one another in this unique moment. We're both whole beings in the fullness of our humanity. Buber says, in the relationship between I and thou, there is no I that stands before thou. It is an I that becomes aware of itself in relation to the thou. And so our vast awareness includes us. We are impacted and moved, and we learn from our clients. They learn from us, and we learn in terms of our relationship. We allow the relationship to be a teacher, a place of study and exploration, a place of depth and intimacy, and it's that relationship itself which becomes healing. The relationship itself. So it means that we're not just using the client as a subject to apply techniques to, but we're really seeing them as equals in a shared, authentic moment. This is a real sense of mutuality that gets created, where you and they were engaging in this very meaningful encounter, this relational encounter. So our presence is healing. It fosters connection to the self, connection to the client and therapist, and connection to some of these deeper existential issues that shape our experience. Allows for a deep witnessing and listening. This can be very rare in our day-to-day life, creating space for people to really feel heard and to be understood, and for them to begin to hear and understand themselves. The words of Heidegger, one of the existential philosophers whose ideas really influenced existential therapy. He says, being with is grounded in care. And care is the heart of authentic existence. Care is the heart of authentic existence. To really be with someone, whether it's in their joy or their suffering, is an act of care. And it's this care and this regard that really begins to form the bedrock of good work, good therapeutic work. So this isn't merely a technique, it's an embodiment. It's an embodiment practice of our full engagement in the moment. It's a living practice, a practice that happens off the cushion in our waking life. And we can cultivate it on the cushion in our mindfulness work. Really, as we cultivate presence, we begin to create the conditions for clients to really explore and heal and grow, change, to come into deeper contact with themselves, to know themselves, know their shadows and their light. It's this powerful force, really enhances the therapeutic process, and it strengthens our relational bonds. Helps us notice when the bonds are not strong also. And to study our history openly, with curiosity. It really allows our system to naturally begin to change. It just really opens it up to the healing, natural healing intelligence that's always there for all of us. In the words of Carl Rogers, he says, in my early professional years, I was asking the question, how can I treat or cure or change this person? And now I would phrase the question in this way: how can I provide a relationship in which this person may use for their own personal growth? It's not what we do, but it's really how we are with our clients. The how. Thank you for your time and your presence. May you continue to learn and grow in your capacity to be, to witness, and to hold gently and with care all of the complexity of what it means to be human. And on that note, let's close with a bow. Thank you, everyone.